good fun. Days like these are great. You get the whole industry together, and to have, companies and corporations like Interbet and Cape Racing who are so generous with sort of time and energy into making a day like this possible is it's fantastic for everyone.
Hi and welcome to everyone joining us for this preview, which is pre-recorded early on Tuesday, which is for the Wednesday meeting. Wednesday the 19th of July, Hollywoodbets Scottsville is the venue. And joining me on the line is Devon Govender. Firstly, Devon, how are you doing? And secondly, how do you find the card on Wednesday?
Good morning, Sheldon. I'm doing very well, thank you. It looks like a really nice card where there could be some decent value as well as one or two short price favorites on the day. But you know that we do love to find the value, so hopefully we can make some money because it looks like a really nice card. How did you see it?
Yes, 100% right. There's a few roughies I like on the card, and I know there's a few runners that you like on the day. So when we put them together, hopefully we'll come out on top. The bar part kicks off in the very first race at 12:30. They'll do battle down the lane over 1,200 meters. The anti-post betting, nice to see the Sean Terry stable, the Mike de Kock stable, the Snaith team, all of them hammering runners on the day. That's My Baby, number 11 is 16-10. Number 9, Karandi is 4-1. 7, Knockout is 9-2. 7-1 and better the rest. Number 11, That's My Baby. Now, the trainer strike rate, Sean Terry, when he comes to Hollywoodbets Scottsville, is phenomenal. From that last form line, Betula and Platina Princess have come out to win. Unfortunately, is drawn on the extreme outside, but will probably tack over towards the center inside.
Yes, I'm in full agreement with you. It's trading at around about 16-10, but a slight concern for me. Well, it's actually not a concern. I just can't put my head around it. I see that Samanga Kumalo has ridden this horse in the last 2 starts, and he's now riding number 5, Bomber Girl. So I wouldn't be diving into the 16-10. I do believe that it is the horse to beat. The form does stand out, and it's really good. But I wouldn't discount the chances of number 5, Bomber Girl, that's trading at around about 7-1. I know that last run ran 9th. That was 5.5 lengths behind Betula, but was drawn in the bush on that occasion.
And then number 7, Knockout, another very interesting runner in the race, because this is a horse who is improving at a rate of knots. Still very, very green when winning last time out. And if you look at the debut performance, that horse October Morn came out to win a listed race. And the last run, still very, very green. So between the 3 runners, they should be able to fight it out and then throw in a horse like number 9, Karandi.
Yeah, number 9, Karandi, has to go in. The last start was drawn 14 out of 14 on that occasion, so we'll get a little bit closer. And just touching on number 7, Knockout again, I know that the connections do rate it. It was a facile winner, maiden winner, so there could be plenty more to come with this individual. And maybe for the quartets, throw in a horse like number 10, She Can.
I'm glad you mentioned number 10, She Can, because just to muddy the waters and make it that much more interesting, if you look at She Can, she was only a head behind Platina Princess last time out. And this horse, That's My Baby, when she met Platina Princess, there wasn't much to separate them. So once again, there won't be a whole lot between them. So that is race number 1. As we move on to race number 2, which is over 1,600 meters, and in race number 2, I think a warm order could be number 3, Let's Go Now, from the Sean Terry outfit. That first run was totally lost around the turn, and then second time out showed the expected improvement. Countess Danza, Canford Rose, and Mickey's Bomb have come out to win. From that number 3 draw, how do you rate number 3, Let's Go Now?
Definitely the horse to beat on form. It is my first selection. Was a facile maiden winner beating Countess Danza, like you touched on those form lines. Very, very good. Going to make it short and sweet. Definitely the horse to beat, number 3, Let's Go Now.
The horse that will be the main challenger, probably number 7, Woodland Glade, because if you look at that run on the 8th of June, Let's Go Now was making her debut, but came from a country mile back. And fourth on that occasion was Woodland Glade behind Ivy League and is 3 kgs better off. But you would think that Let's Go Now has the greatest scope for improvement after that debut and then the win.
Yeah, number 7, Woodland Glade, has to go in to all the calculations. Probably the exacta horse, but I've had a close look at the replays. I know that number 7, Woodland Glade, is in really good form, never far off the action, and she is going to win soon. And it's got JP van der Merwe aboard. This horse will be running on really, really well. But I do believe number 3, Let's Go Now, definitely the horse to beat. And probably for trifectas and quartets, you can throw in a horse like number 1, Bitcoin Baby, where the form lines are not bad there at all as well.
Super. Let's move on to race number 3, and this is where they'll go over the extended trip. It'll be over 1,950 meters. Looking at the anti-post betting, number 10, Lady Canton, is 2-1. Number 4, Princess Azaria, with Rachel Veneker aboard, 1.5 kilograms off, is at 33-10. Number 7, 3 Little Birds at 6-1. When you look at the field, the Von, Lady Canton's not going to have an easier opportunity of breaking the maiden.
Yeah, with all due respect, Sheldon, it's not the strongest of fields, and I do believe that Lady Canton is the horse to beat. If you look at that second last run on the 17th of June, she was running on very, very strongly. She was tailed off towards the back of the field, and she ran on really nicely, finishing 6.25 lengths behind Bitcoin Baby. And the last start was an absolute cracker as well, because at one stage I thought that she may be laboring into the closing stages, but when she was switched in for a run, she started to find more. So possibly this longer trip, 1950, will suit down to the ground, and I don't really see too much opposition besides the third favorite, which is number 7, 3 Little Birds, who ran a nice race on the poly track with Daryl Daniels aboard. That could be the exact off play.
Right, let's move on to race number 4, also over 1,950 meters, and Quata number 10 is the current 2-1 favorite. This is from the powerful Mike de Kock stable, JP van der Merwe. And looking at this individual, got some fair form to the credit, and the Hollywood Syndicate at the moment, Devon, they're having winner after winner.
Yeah, they're in great form at the moment, Sheldon. This horse is trading at around about 22-10 in the fixed odds betting market. That's early. The show is recorded early. And I do think that this is the horse to beat, but I do think it's a fairly open race, and there could be some value here. I quite like number 7, Kodiak Island, for the placings. I see the blinkers have been fitted. Rachel Vinegar is aboard, taking the 1.5 kgs off. This is trading at around about 20-1. And a horse like a Duke of Africa, that's trading at around about 4-1, has run really well at Scottsville. I know that he's had many, many tries, and he's finished second in his last 3 starts, but you've got to give a horse like that a chance. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm not strong on the favorite. I do believe that there is dangers. Pick 6-wise, I'll be going wide here.
100% right, I agree. You have to throw in a horse like number 3, Billy of Tea, from the Mike Miller stable. The son of Flying the Flag has shown the improvement. Went the 1,400, then the 1,600, now 1,950 meters. And number 2, Venerable, anti-post support, from 12-1 down 7-1. Very consistent form, and from a neat 2 draw, number 2, Venerable, comes right into it. Number 1, Player X, another runner. So what we basically are saying is that number 10, who is the favorite, could be vulnerable, and a horse like number 2, Venerable, could pick up the pieces, tongue-in-cheek there. Yeah. Let's move on to race number 5. Now, race number 5, here they go over the extended trip, the staying trip of 2,600 meters. And I'm a supporter of number 13, Twice Golden. He's a horse who's done me exceptionally well in the past. Unfortunately, he's drawn deepest of all. At the early time of recording, number 7, Arrow's Mark, has come out. So number 14, Twice as Perfect, will get a run. And I always follow Twice Golden. You always got to have a small little bet on him. And at around 16 to 1, his last run not too bad. He's a horse who loses ground, and all depends on which Twice Golden rocks up at the track. But the day he decides to run again is the day he wins again. So I'll be having a small interest at 16 to 1. But when you look at the field, Rockfall, Catch the Tune, there's a few runners worth including.
Yes, Sheldon, going back to Twice Golden, we know that he's not the easiest of horses to ride, and you got to know him really, really well. So a massive positive is the Apprentice. He's ridden him before and finished 3.45 lengths behind Rocky Reef. So obviously the 4 kg claiming again now off the back. He knows the horse well, and I do think that it's quite possible that Twice Golden could finish in the money. But my first selection is number 5, Rockfall, from number 11, Averny King. I do believe that Rockfall is the horse to beat. Could be some value at around 11 to 2. Never far off the action, always been consistent, and I think he loves this sort of a trip, you know.
There we go. So throwing a few runners here. Number 13, Twice Golden. He's an old soldier and a lot needs to go his way. He'll probably be slow out again 2 or 3 lengths, and from that 13 draw, he might be 10, 12, maybe even 14 lengths off turning for home. And let's hope the Apprentice can get him going into the money. But as you heard, Rockfall number 5 and the Rocky Reef form line might be able to hold up here in the 5th race. That takes us on to race number 6. Now, in race number 6, they'll do battle down the lane over 1,200 meters. They have number 4, Mr. Master Starter, as the lukewarm favorite at 7 to 2. Course and distance, 1 from 1. Distance-wise, 3 of the 5 wins have come over the distance. The last 3 runs have been over 1,400 meters. So let's start with Mr. Master Starter, and then number 2 Ensuing, who will probably be your first selection.
Yes, quite right. My first selection is number 2, Ensuing, but healthy respect for number 4, Mr. Master Starter. That is the current favorite at 4 to 1. His recent runs have been really good, but he does come back after 88 days. I know that the connections do really rate him, so you can expect a bold showing, but my first selection is number 2, Ensuing. I just like the way that he won on the 22nd of May at Scottsville when he beat Go Man Go. He quickened up really, really well on that occasion. So he runs well here at Scottsville, and his last run was very, very good. It was absolutely flat. I do believe that Ensuing is the horse to beat, and you can never leave out a horse like Beechamwood Boy. He's really, really consistent. Calvin Habib knows him really, really well. So I'm expecting a big run from the number 1 Beechamwood Boy as well. It's a fairly open race, and if you can catch the trifectas or quartets here, I think it will pay handsomely because the favorite is trading at about 4 to 1.
Then number 6, Tread Swiftly, a horse who's done exceptionally well for the connections, trading at around 7 to 1, a horse you have to throw in over the 1,200 meters, has yet to win at the Hollywoodbets Scottsville circuit, has had 7 runs for a 4th. And then my roughie in the race is number 7, Cartel Captain, at around 16 to 1. At one stage was a 117 in the ratings, has done battle with the best of them, is now racing off a 102. And I also think back to the 1,200 meters, 2 course and distance victories. But when you look at the jockey booking, Sean Veal has ridden Cartel Captain in the last 3, and he's elected to stick with number 2 Ensuing.
Yeah, that's very interesting, but you've got a valid points there, Sheldon. Number 7, Cartel Captain, he's run against some really, really good sorts, and you can never discount him, especially with that rating drops, and there's bound to be solid speed in the race, so this horse is going to be low-flying late in the day.
There we have it, race number 6, Devon's with number 2 Ensuing, and he could be on the right horse with Sean Veal aboard. My first selection, I'm going to go with the roughie number 7, Cartel Captain, 6, Tread Swiftly, and number 2 Ensuing. And then number 1, Beechamwood Boy. in absolute terrific form. He's running out of his skin currently. And then number 4, Mr. Master Starter, who is the favorite. He could win. He absolutely loves the course and distance. So definitely a horse worth throwing in. And that'll take us on to race number 7. In race number 7, they're down the lane over 1,000 meters. Let me just have a look at the betting. Number 2, Dandola. Now this horse last time out, I made him my value play for the day at 16-1, and he managed to bounce back to his best form. They pushed him up to an 84 in the ratings, and he is currently at 7-2. Number 6, Honshu at 4-1. He came through to beat Plinian in the maidens last time out. And then if you're looking at number 8, Prince Crash, he has another course and distance specialist with the 4 kgs off the back. And the last run over 1,200 meters just found him out. So looking at race 7, it looks quite competitive, Devon.
Very, very competitive. I was battling to actually find the first selection. You know, touching on number 2, Dandolo, I didn't really fancy him in his last start prior to the race. And I say prior to the race because when I saw this horse go down to the start, he just looked like $1 million. He looked really, really well. And it is generally a very good-looking horse, and he came back to win. So I was very impressed with that victory. I think it's a little bit harsh that the handicap has pushed him up around about 6 points in the rating, but I do believe that he's got a massive chance of following up. And I think Stanley Park will run really well, has been consistent in the last 2 starts. Serena Moodley has ridden this horse, placed twice, and is back aboard him. So I think healthy respect there for number 3, Stanley Park, as well as number 6, Honshu from the Stuart Ferry Yard.
And then number 7, Chara Sands. We can't not give that a mention because ran second to Iron Bark, and Iron Bark just keeps winning.
Yeah, Iron Bark is absolutely unstoppable. It was a really, really good gutsy win. I think Shara Sands, for me, back end of trifectas and quartets.
So we have one more race on the card, as I like to say, the final hurdle to negotiate. If you are in front, you'll be playing for free. If you are playing catch-up and you're under the weather when it comes to the pocket, race number 8, hopefully we can find you some value. And at around 16-1, number 8, Shampompo Shampisi. This is going to be my narrow first selection. Without any degree of confidence, Sipasihle Tlengwe is riding for the Inform Allison Wright camp, ran 5th to Ensuing, 3rd to Noble City, and 7th to Beechamwood Boy last time out. Unfortunately, in the ratings department, he's been quite stuck. He's racing off an 88. They dropped him 2 points for that last run. Course and distance, 1 from 1. And if you go back to the 14th of May, he ran under 5 lengths behind Do It Again in an average rating of a 104. So if Shampompo Shampisi had to produce his best over the 1500, he's a horse who could certainly trouble the fancied runners.
Yeah, no, definitely. If this horse brings his A game, he will be in the money. I know in the early days the connections did rate him, so he's definitely got the ability, and I like that value selection. You know, Sheldon, majority of the time when we work together, we both like outsiders in a specific race, and they end up running first and second. So I'll give you my narrow first selection, which is number 4, Lady Serena. Now this is trading at around about 12-1 in the fixed odds betting market. The last 2 runs were very, very good, particularly that run on the 22nd of May when finishing 4th behind Alpha Betty. And then on the 7th of June ran an absolute cracker with Ashton Aries aboard, finishing 2 lengths behind Kayleen. And I see that this horse is going an extra 100 meters because this race is over 1,500. And the apprentice is taking the 4 kgs off the back, which I think could make all the difference. So this is my value play for the day. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to box the exactas, number 4, Lady Serena, as well as number 8, Shampompo Shampisi, because if that arrives, it's going to pay bombs.
Well, as Devon said, each and every time we do the previews together, One or two of the races, we found 2 roughies and the exactors come through. So let's take a chance in box number 4, Lady Serena with the 52 kilograms on the back, and Champompa Shampizi who has the 60 kilograms on the back. Now, barring our 2 roughies, number 2, Cheeky Laddie, beat Former Gear last time out, and number 2, Cheeky Laddie, did go up 6 points in the ratings. And number 11, Former Gear, went up 3 points, which is also quite puzzling.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get my head around that. But anyway, having said that, they must have a chance of finishing in the money. Sumanga Kumalo, he knows this horse. He's ridden the horse in the last start, finished narrowly behind Cheeky Laddie. So both these runners, 11 and number 2, Cheeky Laddie, to go into the mix. And I can see Cheeky Laddie, just looking at the fixed odds betting market, currently trading at around about 3-1 at the moment.
So that is a look at race number 8. Number 2, Cheeky Laddie, a good winner of his last run. And then Former Gear bounced back to his better form after being punished by the handicapper earlier on. And they pushed him up the 3 points. So let's just hope that extra 1.5 kgs doesn't get the better of number 11, Former Gear. And then once you look beyond those horses, a horse like number 6, Beyond the Boundary, could be dangerous over this trip. So Devon, all in all, we found a few roughies for the fans out there. We've got an exactor for them. And at the end of the day, it's now up to the horses to do it for us on the track.
Yeah, hopefully we can end the day on a high. We're going to box that exacta as many times as we can come the last race. Hopefully we're not trying to get out of it by then.
Excellent. Thanks very much for Devon for all the input. And as usual, hopefully we're not out in the last and we're in front and we'll be playing with the money, and let's see how the day goes. So to all the viewers out there and the punters, have a terrific day's racing and we'll catch you at the races.
My name is Beston. I live in Cape Town. Also I do delivery. Interbet helped me to realize my dreams. Now I have my own delivery vehicle and I'm able to do the removal in and around Cape Town.